Tricky game to probably prepare for, Todd, but if you take a 12-goal win in the end, you would have been pretty happy.
Yeah, look, I think we showed probably we're a bit more clean with the ball this week, certainly than last week. So, yeah, it was a step in the right direction.
Probably, especially the second half, you got some offensive momentum going. You're able to lock down defensively. You know, they didn't kick a goal in the last quarter, and you're able to put some really good scoreboard pressure on, and you showed some good attacking flair.
Yeah, look, I think the way it goes all the time now, it's sort of a full ground. You know, you don't just defend with your back six, and you don't move the ball with just, you know, your mids as well. So, look, we're a bit better today. Obviously had a few soldiers out and a few boys that came in and did a great job. So it's going to be one of those years where, you know, it's going to be a squad that'll get you there. So, yeah, we're pleased, and yeah, we'll look forward to next week.
You talked about the full ground defence. I think that you've only conceded, 11 or 12 goals over the first two games. That's pretty pleasing. Yeah.
Look, I thought we defended for the most part pretty well. But, you know, like, you can only play what's in front of you. So, yeah, we're happy and we'll move on.
What about the back six? It's very much a new look. You've still got Noah and Chad back there, but almost the entire unit around them is new, pretty new faces, either guys that came in the second half of last year or who are new this year. I mean, it seems to be coming together nicely.
Yeah, look, I think most teams are sort of the same, you know, at WAFL level now. There's a lot of extra demands and things going on, so there's always a bit of turnover in personnel, so that provides opportunity. And yeah, there's some guys that played a little bit of footy at the back end of last year, and then you know, some new guys to the club that have given us a bit more depth in that back half as well.
Hamish's free. You couldn't have asked for much more from him in his first couple of games of this year, and you got him to the club this year to give you that depth to replace Brock eventually, and he's doing exactly that right now. Look,
he's been good the first 2 weeks. You know, he had a week off in the pre-season, and Solomon James had a go, and he was pretty good too. So both young players, and you know, I think, you know, he was injured towards the back half of last year, so Hamish has obviously played some footy, and hopefully he continues to improve.
Caleb Datson is a guy who I think you missed when he went away for the second half of last year, but he's come back looking pretty motivated, looking in good touch, looking in good shape. He's started this season really well.
Oh, look, he's been good for us. He gives us something different. He's got real leg speed, and you know, he's a pretty good shot for goal. He doesn't miss too many, and you know, that's pretty good when the boys are working hard up the field. I think they know when they get it in his hand that, you know, it's a pretty good chance that it'll go through.
What have you been happiest with over these first couple of games?
2 wins. That's the biggest thing. But you know, we've had a fair bit of change and a fair bit going on, you know, leading it up with personnel, and all the clubs have. It's not just us, but you know, I think the ability of the group now to be sort of agile and not let too much faze them and just get on with the job's been probably the most pleasing thing.
You've still got natural improvement as well. Obviously, we haven't seen Blake Swinshog yet. We haven't seen Brendan Archie yet. You've got some natural improvement to come in, hopefully pretty soon too.
Yeah, look, there's a few to come back, but it looks like you'll probably, you know, have a few back and a few out each week going forward. So, as I said before, I think, you know, we've always been working on that. You'll need a squad to get there, so that's what we'll continue to drive.
You play Claremont next week. How difficult will it be to prepare for them, given the amount of changes they've had, and you don't know how many of those will come back next week, and they might lose more guys next week? You don't know what's going to happen. Is it the sort of thing where at this point of the season you just worry about yourselves, because what happens with the opposition is so far sort of out of your control and can change so quickly?
And it's so early in the year, you don't really have much of a read on teams anyway. So, like, we'll concentrate on us, and if we can get us right, we'll be right in the game.
It's an amazing history you've got with them. I mean, when you come up against them for the first time in a new year after the way you've played against them the year before, do you bring that up, or do you treat it like it's a completely new year and everything's fresh, or how do you approach it when you've got a rivalry like that with an opposition?
Oh, it's a new game, it's a new year, so nothing that's happened in the past is going to impact what's going to happen next week. But you know, we back ourselves that if we bring our best, that you know, we'll be right in the game. So it'll be a good game. History says that they've been pretty close recently, so you know, they're a good team, and you know, we think we're going to be a good team as well.
There's a lot different about everything that you're dealing with this year, and it's going to probably be like that for most of this season. What's making this different right now in terms of being a coach, preparing your team week after week? What are the challenges that you're sort of facing?
Well, we lost 2 this morning that tested positive, you know. I think that's going to be the same for most clubs. You lose a couple during the week. You know, this week we lost probably more. We probably had 8, I guess, of our best 22 that, you know, were out of the mix. And all teams are going to be the same. So it's important when you've got your best group out there that you make the most of it.
Thank you.
All good. Cheers. Thanks.